Okay, Thursday, 18th of December 2025. So, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. AI and the Rentier Class. Okay, now, AI, straightforward. Digital intelligence. Rentier Class are the asset owners. Rent, those that earn the rent, the income, the distributions, the dividend, etc., from different assets. Keyword there is assets. They own things, they rent it out. Because I realise there's an interesting way to hedge, so to speak, against AI. Because AI is inevitable in technology, and improvements are inevitable with mankind, and always going to improve and onwards and upwards. Very important. But also we know as a first principle, fundamentally, about the debasement trade, meaning how money printing is baked into the cake. It's standard, it's default, it's modus operandi in the current financial system we live in. Okay, meaning more dollars, pounds, euros, you name it, will be printed, will come into existence by different methods. Fractional reserve lending, quantitative easing, and what's this other one recently about asset purchase, something purchase. But okay, it's happening. So therefore, you could say, right, the way to hedge against that is hard assets, stocks, real estate, commodities, gold, and Bitcoin. Ah, interesting. So hedge against those assets with regards to the money printing. More liquidity, more cash, more dollars, more pounds slushing around. So of course the asset, the hard asset, 21 million, fixed supply, things like that, is a good lifeboat, so to speak, against that. As money supply increases, so does the Bitcoin price increase, depending on education and awareness. Okay. So then you say, right, another way to hedge against AI, well, that's hedging against the debasement trade, but building on that, AI as a rentier class. Meaning, if all this is happening, then we want assets, because these assets are going to be appreciating in value no matter what's happening over here with regards to AI. Meaning, again, it's baked in the cake. So then you say, right, if assets are increasing in value, then you can arguably say, if you directionally speaking, so would distributions and dividends. Okay. So then you say, right, well, a way to hedge against job loss, let's say, is holding assets. Okay. Rentier class. Okay. Landlord class, we could also colloquially say. Fair enough. So then we say, right, well, if you are a shareholder of this company, let's take McDonald's, for example. You own the shares in the company. You own shares in the company. They pay dividend. Then it's on the company, it's their responsibility to leverage, utilize AI in some fashion. And we could say at McDonald's because they're using it with regards to self-service, checkout, point of sale devices. And you could also say other places like Amazon are using it with Rufus with regards to helping customers design product fit, for example. So these companies, the responsibility, that's the key thing here. The responsibility utilizing AI is less so much on you, it's that learn to code, but more on the company via the CTO, the CFO, and the board of directors. Meaning that they are future-proofing themselves as AI and technology, as I said earlier, is increasing and proliferating and becoming ubiquitous. And is expanding and going into the future. So it's their responsibility to utilize AI. Okay, very good. And because of the debasement trade and expanding money supply, within reason, depending on management and black swan events and other situations and scenarios in the market, etc., fundamentals, price goes up. Okay, and then in theory, as I said, so are dividends and distributions. Okay, a lot of factors at play, but that's the principle. So then you say, right, well, I'm shifting the responsibility to utilize AI onto the company, depending on the management team and their competence. And then the responsibility is on you then to utilize AI to a lesser degree, is in less of emergency, but to understand it and utilize it in a sense of asset allocation, as in improving intelligence, becoming smarter basically, decision making, judgment calls, those kind of soft skills. They're dealing with the hard skills, the tech side, by means of ownership and by wanting to stay in business, but you're dealing with the soft skills, the judgment calls, the decision making things, the strategically thinking, things like that. Because you can't say and have this rentier approach to say to be lackadaisical and say I don't need to bother with studying AI at all. I don't need to bother. That's not my purview. It's not nothing to do with me. That is dangerous thinking because the world will overtake you, and the epistemic lag is going to be so great. It's going to get harder and harder to catch up. That's it. It will reach a critical mass where you can't. It's too much to learn in too short space of time. But by being part of the Rentier class, owning the shares, owning the hard assets, having the distribution and dividend income, things like that, you're hedging against AI because you're outsourcing that responsibility to the company, but also you're embracing the debasement trade, because in trading there's a nice little saying, the trend is your friend. And if the trend is saying money printing, money printing, money printing, then you want hard assets on the other side of that trade. Very interesting indeed. Very interesting. Assuming the main crux of the matter, the main linchpin is the management team in the company's competence, desire, willingness, awareness, you name it, to adopt AI. That's the main crux. And then there's the internal crux again, like I said earlier, to be lazy and lackadaisical, to say, I don't need to bother. Those two things. There's still a level of proactiveness that's required. But that's an interesting trade, the Rentier class, as a way to hedge, but also leverage from AI, but also to embrace the debasement trade via things like Bitcoin. Very powerful, very important to understand, and it's an interesting way to connect the dots. And of course, this is a long-term play as well. This is 4 years plus kind of strategy, but interesting principle nonetheless. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.